Have you wondered why the guys you like the least seem to be the most obsessed with you? Yet the guys you're obsessed with seem to want nothing to do with you. The secret is it's actually not a coincidence. It has everything to do with what you're even doing at all and why you shouldn't be doing anything. So let's discuss how to make men fall in love by doing nothing so that you can discover how to strategically do less and get way more love from the men you actually want to be with. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating. Okay, welcome on this beautiful Friday afternoon or Saturday morning if it's Saturday morning for you. Okay, welcome. Good to see all you beautiful party people. How are you doing? Okay, good to have you all here. Let me just pull up my proper doc here. Okay. I'm so happy to see you. How you guys doing? We got who we got here today? We got Ashley here, we got Ivy here, we got we got Jess, we got Kathlina, BJ, Melina, of course, we got Scotty in the TikTok chat, Olivia, GKS, Brianna, of course, holding down our TikTok chat as well. And much more people to come into the live stream here in a little bit. Okay. So let me pull up my pop up my chat. Oh my god, dummy happy. I can see chat now. Sorry, I couldn't see the chat before. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get started here. And we will discuss as time goes on. We have a lot to discuss today and a lot of Discord questions to get to. All right. So let's get started with things that you should not be doing. Okay. When I say things that you should not be doing, we're going to basically be discussing today how to do less, get more. But I want you to understand every point that we're going to make is about what you should not do and then what you should do instead. So let's start with do not be reaching out. Okay, I've discussed this with you guys before, but I mean this in a more holistic sense. I don't want you texting. I don't want you calling. I don't want you FaceTiming. And when I say I don't want you doing it, what I mean is I don't want you doing it like in terms of reaching out to him, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't call him back if you miss his call or something like that, but I don't want you doing the initiating. Very, very important to what you're trying to get done here. See, this is the thing that you need to understand, and I need to try and get this through your head, okay? You cannot convince a man to like you by doing more things to get him to like you. It sounds weird because obviously we're coming up with a strategy which makes it seem like you're doing things, but hear me out, okay? What I mean by that is you cannot scrub the floor squeaky clean and make the best dinner and, slave away in the kitchen, adding salt, adding pepper, adding cayenne, adding paprika. That's probably too spicy for you. But adding all these different spices, thinking that whatever you cook for him is going to hit his taste buds and he's magically going to be like, oh my God, the fact that you are the most amazing cook and the most amazing chef and you scrub this floor squeaky clean, that has brought me to the realization that I want to be in a relationship with you. Truly and honestly, that's not what makes the men fall in love. And it's also not what makes the men want to chase after you. Okay, we're trying to get them to pursue you, which is what most of you have been struggling with, getting men to pursue you. You don't want to be the one pursuing anymore. You don't want to be the one chasing anymore. So when I say do not reach out, of course, this is technically an action, but this is a function of the things I want you to scale back on that are hurting you, that if you scale back on it, they will simultaneously help you in your quest to get him to pursue you. Because a lot of you always come to me and ask the question, okay, how do I get him to want me more? How do I get him to chase after me? How do I get him to want to date me? How do I get him to want to take me out on dates and all this good stuff, right? And the funny part about my answer, it's always about how you can scale back and do less for him, do more for yourself, and just do less overall in the relationship, especially when it comes to building a man's interest in you. Because like I mentioned earlier, it's not about what you can do more to prove to him that he should like you or want you. You need to understand the most powerful way to get a man interested in you, chasing after you, pursuing you, all that good stuff, is to allow him the space to come to his own realization that he wants to be with you. I'm going to say that again. The most important and the only way to truly get a man invested in you emotionally and pursuing you for real, is to allow him the space to come to his own realization that he wants to be with you. Because once he comes to that realization on his own, he will take action on that realization. That's just how men are. Okay? Maybe a soy boy won't. But a real man will take action upon that realization that he wants to be with you and wants to spend time with you. Okay? Very important. Now, the reason I say that's the most powerful way to get a man to pursue you and want you and chase after you and all that good stuff, right, is because I don't want your mind to be in the place of how can I do more to get more? When in reality, it should be how can I do less to stimulate him doing more? Okay, it's not a matter of I push towards him more and then he's magically going to be more attracted to me. Because when you push towards him more, what's going to happen is he's going to take steps back. You should be thinking, okay, we're here right now. How can I strategically take steps back that forces him to take steps forward and fill in the gaps? Okay, that's how it works. If you want to keep that balance in the relationship or you want to shift the dynamic into your favor, you need to be focused on how to strategically take steps back. Notice I said strategically, okay? You don't want him to think that you're uninterested in him and that you don't want him, but you also want to keep that balance going where you're pulling back just enough that he has to continue pursuing you and he has the space to at least want to continue pursuing you, okay? Does that make sense? So you do not reach out to those men. That means not over text. That means not over WhatsApp. That means not over Snapchat, okay? End it. End the Snapchat streak, okay? That means not over Instagram DM. That means you don't send him reels. That means you don't send him TikTok videos, okay? Nothing. Not Facebook memes, nothing. You respond to him when you are being spoken to, and you don't reach out anytime after that. And even then, you're not here to be a pen pal. What I mean by a pen pal, you're not here to be a texting buddy where all day you just on the phone with each other, going back and forth, sending each other memes, sending each other Snapchats, and sending each other text messages. No. You do not waste your time and energy doing that. You do not reach out. Why? Because a couple of reasons. You have better things to do with your life than be on the phone 24/7 being a pen pal to someone. If he really cares about you that much and he really thinks you're that amazing and awesome and seductive and just hot and just approachable, he will make time to see you in person. And you want to stimulate an environment where he only has the choice to make time to see you in person by taking away all of his other options. So this is why you don't reach out, because you're stopping him from having the option of getting access to you through the phone, whether that be phone calls, whether that be FaceTimes, whether that be text messages. I don't care if it's a Snapchat or an Instagram meme. Okay. All of those forms of communication stimulate to him, oh, I'm getting to talk to her. Oh, I'm getting to communicate to her. Oh, I'm getting to be around her, spend some time with her, right? Even though you're not actually spending time with the person, both you and him are being tricked into thinking there's some quality time going on there because you're messaging each other back and forth. When you squeeze the life out of those forms of communication because they're so low quality, you squeeze the life out of them. So they stop existing. His only choice, if he wants to see you, becomes I must go out on a date with her and see her in person. Okay, right? So you do not reach out. Allow him the space to reach out to you. Okay, this is the thing though. If he's really interested in you, he will reach out to you. For the guys who are lackadaisical and they're not that interested in you and they don't really care much because they want it nice and easy, they're probably on dating apps a lot. They're not here to put in any real type of work. Those men are probably not going to reach out to you very much. Why? Because their interest in you isn't very high, or even to the point where they're prepared to do anything hard. Okay, you're not trying to be in a relationship with a guy who's not prepared to do anything hard or that takes some effort or some consistency. Okay, the guys who are what we call microwave men, the guys who only want it quick and easy and painless and free and just right now, you distance yourself from those men, right? And don't give those men access to you in very quick and easy forms, because you're only going to end up wasting your own time. Okay, that's the honest truth. If you find yourself in a position where you're constantly reaching out to a guy thinking that this is going to stimulate his ability to want to text you more, or phone call to say, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I'm talking to her enough, I need to be the one to stimulate conversation and reach out to her more. Like, you need to start thinking about this logically. I know in your mind you're thinking, oh, the more I reach out, it's going to remind him of my existence. Let me tell you a little bit of truth here. Okay? Let me let you in on a little secret. Okay? The guys that have your number, have your Instagram, have your Snapchat, know where you work or work alongside you or are friends in your friend group, they already are aware of your existence. For some of them, they already know where you live. For some of them, they already know where you hang out. For some of them, they already know where to find you. For some of them, they already know your number. They know how to contact you and reach you if they want to contact you and reach you, which means all you need to do is be patient and allow him to come to his own realization that he wants to message you and see you more. I know for some of you that can be very painful to have to sit back and relax and wait for him to want to message you and reach out to you and come to that realization, because you're thinking, oh, but I want this all to happen in 1 second. I want this all to happen in 30 milliseconds. I want all this to happen right now. Why can't this happen right now? Why is it taking him so long to come to that realization? Let him cook. Let him cook. Okay? What I mean by let him cook, the saying, when I'm saying that, what I'm referring to is let the men go through their own personal individual process of growing their feelings towards you over time. Okay. I know in your favorite Disney princess movie, everything happens in the first 5 minutes. And as soon as he lays his eyes on the girl, he wants to marry her. I'll be the first to tell you that's not the natural progression of real life human beings. That's okay though. But I just want you to be patient enough to allow men to cook. Okay. If he likes you or he finds you interesting, and if he finds you interesting enough that he wants to get to know more about you, I promise you, he will get to know more about you. But if you do the job for him, right? If you're trying to push towards him to stimulate the process going faster, you're only going to make it harder for yourself to get to your end goal and destination. Okay? You need to be scaling things back so that he can have the space to want to pursue you. So, number one, you do not reach out. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Does that make sense? Manar says this is the truth. Cooking with Carly says this is what I'm learning, patience, right? And that's the whole thing, is that you have to be patient, right? You have to be patient until you see what it is that you want to see. But just understand, if you play it the right way, you can see exactly what you want to see. Okay. Very important, right? Nicholas just says, guys don't put all the work on the man, make it 50-50. What do you mean? Oh, like you're one of the guys that you want it to go 50-50. That's perfectly fine. If you're a guy that you like going 50-50, then you find a girl that wants to go 50-50. I feel like sometimes you guys give your opinions in the chat thinking that I'm going to be like, your opinion is super wrong and I disagree with that. Everyone should believe what I believe and everyone should live their life how I live my life, and anyone that disagrees with me is an absolute idiot. Look, if you guys have opinions on how you want to do your relationships, how you want to live your life, is perfectly fine with me. Don't make me mad. I'm happy for you. So, Nicolicious, if you want to go 50-50 and you believe that's how a relationship should be, you should go 50. Even if you believe your girl should pay your rent, I'm happy for you, brother. I'm happy for you. Go live your life and find your girl that will pay 50-50 for your rent, or even pay your bills if that's what you want to do. Hey, I don't mind that. I'm happy. I'm happy if you're happy. Okay. Ivy says, no, I don't reach out. Okay. Gabby says, I'm loving all your comments. Yeah, I like when you guys are active. I like hearing all your different opinions. Okay. Jack says, reaching out first means, hey, I'm easy Squirtle. You know, it's funny because it doesn't feel like that. It feels more innocent than that. But in reality, it's the natural state of things. The more you push towards, and of course it might seem insignificant in terms of like, are you telling me anytime I reach out to a guy and text him that's going to make me super unattractive and not worthy of love? Well, I'm not saying that in a literal sense, but the concept is a representative of the mindset. Okay. So when you're reaching out to him thinking that you reaching out more is going to help him like you more, it's the same thing as you thinking that doing more for him or doing more so that he can see you or notice you is going to actually help him like you more. When in reality, if you've noticed in your relationships, maybe you haven't come to this realization yet, but the guys that you try the hardest for and try the hardest to get to like you seem to be the ones that like you the least. Yet the guys that you ignore, the guys that you don't pay attention to, the guys that you don't care about are the guys who are crawling on glass and trying to sniff your butthole. And you're sitting there like, I'm literally telling you how much I don't like you. And all you can talk about is how amazing I am. And it doesn't make any sense. Okay. Right. Does that make sense? Okay. So do not reach out was the first thing. Number 2, I want you to start paying attention. These are all very important. This one grinds my gears. And this one isn't as obvious to a lot of you. I need you to stop sleeping over. Tell me in the chat if you've met a guy, started dating a guy, and within the first 3 months you started sleeping over at his place, even if it was one night. Tell me, have you done that before? Have you started dating a guy, started seeing a guy, and then you sleep over at his place or he sleeps over at yours? Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Okay? The reason I say that, the reason I tell you, you need to not be sleeping over. Okay? And this is part of the things you need to be scaling back. Someone said, no, I'm not allowed. This is part of the reason you need to be scaling it back. Because remember, well, you might not remember. If you're new here, you need to join us, get up to date, get up to speed. I've talked to you guys before about, especially at the beginning of a relationship when you're still building that dynamic and setting the precedent for the relationship and building his interest in you. It's very important to present yourself as, number 1, a hot commodity, but also an experience. Okay, stay with me. What I mean by an experience is he needs to associate you with very strong emotions. When he's away from you, you want him to feel strong emotions like anxiety, like he's not being able to speak to you, like desperation that he wants to see you another time, anticipation for when he's going to see you again. And when he does spend time with you, you want him to be focused on having strong emotions like being able to enjoy his time, be happy, talk about himself, which is always, even if he's talking about something traumatic, it's going to make him feel better getting it off his chest, right? And the strong emotions he's going to feel, and the contrast of emotions he's going to feel being with you and around you versus not being with you and not being around you. Now, the reason I say that is because when it comes to not sleeping over and why I don't want you to sleep over is because very quickly you can take yourself from being this experience that only gets to happen once in a while, where he can actually say to himself, oh my gosh, the experience I had with you going on a 2-hour or 3-hour date with you was so good. All I can think about is seeing you again. When you begin sleeping over all the time and you're around 24/7, all he can think is, yeah, you know, you're cool and awesome and everything, but maybe I would like to see you a little bit less because you're here 24/7. Okay. This is why I say you can make a man fall in love by doing nothing and scaling back all the stuff you were trying to do more of. Because when you stop sleeping over and the only time he gets access to you is on dates in those very high quality forms, well, then now all of a sudden, all he has in terms of experience of you is those high quality forms where you're going on dates, you're talking, you're chatting, you're sharing, you're growing memories, you're sharing he's sharing bits and pieces of himself and his life. He's becoming more emotionally invested of you, as opposed to the sleepover where, you know, maybe you guys have pineapples, you chill, you watch Netflix, you're not really connecting, but you're existing around each other. See, that's great. I'm not saying that you should never exist around your partner, but especially when we're talking about the beginning of the relationship, and a lot of you are in the stages where you're dating and trying to figure out the dating world, especially when you're in the beginning of the relationship, you do not want to become quickly mundane and just existing and just around just all the time. Because what that's going to do is something very bad. It's the thing I call where he starts to describe you as, or the feeling of being around you as, chill. You do not want men to be describing you as chill. You do not want men's mind to be thinking that the feeling they feel when they're around you is chill. Because I want to ask you a question. I want you to answer this vice versa. So back from your own perspective. Would you ever describe a guy you were madly in love with? Would you ever describe the feeling of being madly in love with him as chill? Tell me in the chat, yes or no. Any guy that you've been madly in love with or obsessed with, would you ever describe those feelings and what it felt like to feel those feelings towards him? Would you describe those feelings as chill? Oh my goodness, spilling water everywhere, right? I want to ask you guys that question, and I want your real honest answer. Would you describe that feeling of being madly in love with someone, wanting to spend every second with them, wanting to be around them all the time? Would you describe the feeling of being madly in love or obsessed with the guy as chill? Okay, I see a lot of people saying no in the chat. Okay, now the reason I asked that question is because if you would not describe the feeling of really wanting to be with someone and being around someone and really being in love with someone as chill, it's the same thing for the men. Anytime they're describing you as chill, that means they're not feeling any strong emotions towards you. And if they're not feeling any strong emotions towards you, well, then it can't be love that they feel for you. Because love is not chill. Okay? H says, so chill doesn't mean a relaxed person. Well, here's the thing, H. This is where you guys trip yourselves up. Because when you're thinking, oh, he's describing me as chill because he feels relaxed and peaceful around me, what he's really describing is the indifference he feels when you're there. It's not super good and amazing, but it's not super bad and awful that he wants to end it. It's chill. Chill is right in between. Chill is not hate, but chill is also not love. You're just existing. You're just there. Here's the problem though. If he's just chill about you, that you don't make him particularly feel anything intensely, what's going to happen after a while is he's going to become uninterested in you. Think to yourself, the guys that you've been around that aren't necessarily bad guys, but they also don't make you feel very stimulated. They're not taking you over the top on this emotional roller coaster, yeah, but they're also just not that interesting. Think about how you felt about those guys after a while. After a while, you start thinking to yourself, you're great, but you're just like, there's just something missing. I just wish, I could describe what it is, but I just feel like it's not quite there. Tell me if you've ever been in that scenario before, where you're like, you're so good. You're such a good guy. You're such a good personality and everything's good about you, but it's just not, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it. I can't even describe it to you what I'm not feeling, but I just don't feel it. That feeling itself is the indifference when you're with someone that doesn't make you feel any emotions intensely. It's the same reason why the most addicting people in your life seem to be the most toxic people, because they're the ones taking you on an emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. And that in itself is so addicting. To go up one day and you're like euphoric and it's like you just got a hit of a drug. And then another day you're down in the dumps and you don't know what to do with yourself. And you're like, I can't believe I'm this low. Because the contrast is what allows you to feel things so intensely that it becomes like a high in both senses. The high is also associated with the negative just as much as it's associated with the positive. Okay? And the reason I bring that up is because I want you to understand when you are making the mistake of sleeping over like a maniac, being around 24/7 like a maniac, right? It's kind of the in-person version of what I was talking about when I say don't reach out over text, don't reach out over phone call, don't reach out over the phone whatsoever. Let him come to you. So it's the same thing. You do not want to present yourself, even in an in-person setting, where you just become mundane and everyday and all the time, just in a chill sense. Okay? Because after a while, someone said in the chat earlier, after a while, he begins to become lukewarm towards you, where you're cool to be around, but it's not like I want you so badly that you have to be my girlfriend. If you don't want to, do this anymore, then sure, we won't do this anymore. But I don't have my feelings aren't deep and intense enough that I need to push forward in this relationship to make you my girlfriend. I'm just kind of cool with us being a friends with benefits kind of thing where it's not a thing. It's the same reason why you'll be with some men for so long. There was a girl in the Discord. It was this week. I think it was 3 or 4 days ago in the Discord. She mentioned she's been friends with benefits for a guy for 8 years. 8 years. 8 years of her life since she was 17 years old. She's been friends with benefits with this guy. And in the past year, this guy finally got a girlfriend, which is the only reason things have stopped. And then she was asking me, how can I take stuff from friends with benefits into being in a relationship? And I was letting her know, I'm like, you've wasted nearly a decade of your life trying to become something to this guy that he made a girl in less time that he's known you. And you're trying to think of how you can turn this around and reverse it into your favor. It's never going to happen. Okay. And the reason I bring up that example is because I want you to understand how easy you can fall into the trap of becoming the mundane, chill thing to just be around and explore and be with, right? Where you become comforting, yes, even though comforting is good, right? Comforting can also be bad in the sense where you just become something that is existing, that is around, that I don't feel the need to make our relationship any more than it already is. I don't feel the need to make you my girlfriend. I like where we're at. Everything's chill. I don't like you enough even to want you to be my girlfriend, but I like having you around, enough that I just would keep you around. And you just end up in this in-between stage where you're not cutting each other off, but you're also not forwarding the relationship in any positive direction or forward direction. And you're just constantly in this space where you don't know where things stand. You don't know what things are supposed to be. You don't know what the boundaries are. You don't know what the standards are. You don't know what the expectations are. And you're waiting for something to change. Meanwhile, nothing ever changes. This is part of the things I'm talking about that you're trying to avoid. And why sleeping over can become so detrimental. You can quickly find yourself in a place where you're sleeping over 24/7 because one night sleepover will turn into I'm going to sleep over a second night, or it'll turn in I'm going to sleep over the next week. I'm going to sleep over 2 nights now. I'm going to sleep over 3 nights now. And all of a sudden, right, on a regular basis, you're spending 3 nights at his place. And majority of that time is just spent with you guys having pineapples and watching Netflix and sitting around and relaxing. So cool. Yeah, it's peaceful, but you also become very mundane where when is he ever having time to look forward to seeing you? When is he ever in anticipation of the next time he's going to get access to you? When is he ever fiending for your presence and for you overall, the person that he's like, look, when can we go out on this date? I need to have you. He's never in that state. Why? Because you're there 24/7. 3 nights a week, you're literally sleeping over. And you guys are there with each other 24/7. And you're texting him 24/7. As soon as you walk out of that door frame of his, you pick up the phone and you start texting him. So if you're texting him all the time and you're sleeping over all the time and everything is just chill and you're just there in existence 24/7 around him, when does he have the time to miss you? When does he have the time or the space to pursue you? How can he? You're literally right next to him. You're literally right next to him. How can a guy pursue you when you're literally right next to him? How does that make sense? You're glued to him, sitting right next to him all the time, just looking at him. Do you like me now? Do you like me more than you did last second? Do you like me more than you did 3 seconds ago? Do you like me more than you did 10 seconds ago? What about now? What about now? What about now? How is he possibly supposed to be in a position where he can anticipate and want to see more of you when you're like that? Okay? So this is part of the things you need to be doing less of. Do not sleep over at all. Okay? Especially from leading up to the beginning of the relationship when you guys are still getting to know. Don't sleep over. Okay? You don't need to. He will see you when he plans you and he schedules you. Okay. And you have a busy schedule. You have lots of stuff to do. So he's not going to be able to plan stuff with you day of. Did you hear what I said? He's not going to be able to plan stuff with you day of or at 2 a.m. at night. He's not going to be able to call you out of the blue and say, oh, yeah, I just finished at the club. Can I come over to your place? No. You have way more and better things to do with your time than sitting around watching paint dry, waiting for him to call or text you when he's free. Okay. So if he's going to get access to you, he's got to schedule you out, and you're not just going to be available to just chill and hang out and do nothing. If there's not a plan, you don't have time for that. You got things to do. You got places to be. And what's going to happen is he's going to begin to respect that and say to himself, I like you so much, even though you don't have much time on your hands, I need to figure out when that time is that you do have, because I want to spend that time with you. You see how men can come to their own realization when you give them the space to come to that realization? Okay? I know it sounds really strange that doing so much less can get you so much more out of the guys, but I just want to walk you through how that space allows him to go through that thought process where he can actually think to himself, I want more of her. I want to see you more. I want to be around you more. And the mistake always comes when you do all these things, trying to do more, see him more, be around him more, thinking that's going to stimulate the same concept of him saying, I want to be with you more when you're already around more. So how can he want more when you're already more? Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Sister One says, I wonder if men appreciate you giving up the secrets. I mean, probably there's a lot of men who probably be like, bro, why are you telling our secrets? I seen some men comment that before. They're like, bro, you telling literally all of my best secrets and stuff like that. So there's probably some men that are like, damn, you letting them know, but you're a select few that are smart and intelligent and are going to be able to go out into the world and get what you want out of men. So that's always a good thing. And then see, the thing about it is what I'm teaching you guys, or the information I'm sharing with you guys, I know for most of you, all you really want out of this is a long-term serious relationship. So if we're going to say that the manipulation knowledge that I'm giving you is going to help you get more long-term serious relationships, well, then that means in the world we'll just have more long-term serious relationships. And so how does the world actually lose if there's more long-term serious relationships? You see what I'm saying? Right? It's like, even if the men are upset about it, in turn, the world actually continues to be a better place if there's more long-term serious relationships, right? Because I'm assuming most of you don't want this knowledge just to go out and sleep with men that you want and dispose of them, because that would defeat the purpose of why you were here in the first place, okay? So they could be mad, but in turn, it kind of helps the world still. I would like to think, okay? Right? Victoria says you shouldn't have to manipulate people to want to be around you. Well, here's the thing, Victoria, and I tell everyone this that feels like, oh, well, that's manipulation. That's so bad that you have to do all this stuff and play all these games in order to get guys to like you or be interested in you. This is the thing I say to that, is that at the end of the day, we're all better suited identifying if I'm attracted to, I'll just use myself. If I'm attracted to women, the best way for me to get the highest quality and value partner that I want as a man would be to identify what the women find attractive and figure out how I can embody that while staying true to myself. Because if I were to sit back and complain about what the women find attractive and try to convince them that they shouldn't find it attractive because I don't want to do that and I shouldn't have to do anything for you to find me attractive, well, then I'm going to be frustrated forever because it's not going to change what the women find attractive. I'll give you the example that I always give all you guys. Imagine if I'm a guy, but imagine if I'm a guy and I'm sitting here saying, it's so sad that all the women want the rich man with fast cars and big houses and lots of money and resources. Why can't I just be a broke man who plays video games all day and all night and sits on my couch eating Lay's chips and Oreos with Cheeto Puff sauce on my fingertips? And why can't the girls love me and want me too the same way they want the guys with the Lamborghinis? Why do I always lose all my women to the rich men with money and houses and cars? Women are so evil for wanting rich men with resources that can protect and provide for them. Why don't they want me for doing nothing? I just want to be able to exist and do nothing and be lazy and have Cheeto Puff sauce on my fingers while I play video games, and all the women should love me still. Why don't the women love me still? I want to do nothing and the women love me still. Okay? Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Right? When I'm complaining about what the women find attractive or what they gravitate towards, it's a waste of my time and energy as a man. I'm better served identifying what the women find attractive and what they want in a man, and figuring out how I can stay true to myself. I don't have to change who I am, how I can stay true to myself and embody those qualities. Because then, if I become what the women find attractive and I actually do the things that make them more attracted to me, well, lo and behold, I have a plethora of options in partners. And now I get to sit back and say, I can literally choose who I feel is best suited for me. And all I had to do was figure out what you find attractive and figure out what actions I had to take to be the most attractive to you while staying true to myself. And once I did that, now I have so many different options. The only thing I have to do now is choose who I like the most. You see how that works? And that's why I always say that to when people are like, oh, but you shouldn't have to play games, you shouldn't have to manipulate, you shouldn't have to do this. I'm giving you the knowledge and the understanding of how men respond to different things and different actions that you take, okay? And how you can work alongside that by understanding if I do this thing, it will elicit this particular response or reaction. So if you want the men to react and respond to you in a particular way, you take in this information, utilize it in a way that's true to yourself. Okay. I'm not saying you have to change who you are, in a way that's true to yourself. And then you get that same response or reaction from those men. And see, you end up happy because now you have your choice of whichever man that you want to choose from. Right? Someone says, how do you cater to be what someone wants and remain true to yourself? I do not see how that works. See, I'm always of the belief that two things can be true. You can do things, right? So in this scenario, you can do things that men find attractive without losing yourself in that. and without totally just going awry. Like there's a possibility. Everyone wants their life to be black or white, or black and white, right? They always want it to be one extreme or the other. Unfortunately, I don't teach you guys extremes. I don't talk to you guys about extremes. I talk to you guys about balance. Meaning that even when we do discuss ideas or strategies, I don't necessarily want you to take it and apply it in some sort of extreme way where you only do one thing. So what I mean by that, Victoria, is it is possible to understand what men find attractive, understand what they find interesting, what will stimulate them to pursue you, and do that while still staying true to yourself. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I always tell you guys, and those of you who've been in this class for many times would know that. Victoria might be new, it's fine. I always tell you guys that, ironically, everything you would do to be more attractive to guys, this is the funniest part, is actually about how you can invest more into yourself. Okay? Because truthfully and honestly, like I always tell you, you scrubbing the floor and cooking the dinner the best is not what's going to make him more attracted to you. The girls that men find the most attractive are the girls who are investing the heaviest and the most into themselves, taking care of themselves, taking care of their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual, all that good stuff, doing things for themselves, going places that they enjoy, pursuing their own passions. Those are the women that the men say, oh my God, who is that? I need to get her. I want to be with her, right? Think about what your favorite guy, the guy that you like, think about what his dream girl is doing with her life. His dream girl, his dream IG model, his dream OF model, his dream whatever model, his dream celebrity crush is focusing heavily on herself, which is why the men want to chase after them, because they find the girls the most attractive who are investing into themselves. Okay? Lucky Me says, why is that? Well, it's just a function of when you're investing into yourself and you're focused on yourself, it gives people the space to like look at you and want to pursue. It's kind of a function of just how the dynamic of how masculine are always out to pursue and take action. It just works well. I couldn't tell you why it works well, but it just works well that when you are investing into yourself, you actually give men the space to say, oh my gosh, I see how valuable you are. You're so focused on you and not focused on me. It must be because you don't need to focus on anything else outside of yourself, right? And the fact that you're not desperate for me or my attention or my approval must mean that you're confident and secure within yourself. I now see that and believe in that confidence and security. I find that attractive. I want to be part of what you got going on, because you carry yourself in a way where you actually see your value. So now I see your value, and vice versa. When you're desperate for me, when you're constantly seeking my validation, when you're constantly texting me all the time, when you're constantly on my butt all the time, begging for more attention from me, well, now I don't see you as valuable, because I believe, right? This is subconsciously, obviously he's not writing this down in his notebook, right? But subconsciously, he begins to believe the reason you must be so desperate for my validation and my attention is because you don't actually have real value, which is why you need me in order to feel valuable. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Right? And Lightning says men love what's valuable. It's true. It's true. I'll give you guys another example, right? Let's say I had two items. I want to grab something, but okay, let's say I had two items. In one hand, I got an iPhone, okay? I got an iPhone, a fresh new iPhone, an iPhone 15 Pro Max, okay? Even better than a Samsung for some of you Android users, okay? That's a diss. That's meant to be a diss. I'm hating, okay? In the other hand, I have a huge black box. Let's just imagine in this hand, I have a huge black box. It's got a whole bunch of silver and gold locks on it. And it's massive, okay? Like it's like bigger than my head, and my head's huge, all right? Got a big brain. And in this hand, I have an iPhone. And I were to ask you, which item do you think is more valuable? Do you think the iPhone is more valuable? Or do you think the item that's sitting inside my large black box with a whole bunch of locks on it is more valuable? Which one do you think is more valuable? I want to ask you guys, and I want you to answer in the chat. If I were to ask you, do you think my iPhone in my hand is more valuable, or do you think whatever's hiding behind this big black large box with a whole bunch of locks on it is more valuable? Now, obviously, everyone's saying the box, okay? Right? And the reason I say it like that and give that analogy is because I want you to understand that value, right, is really, I should keep this up. Value is really more about perception than it is about something being better than something else. So you have to understand how perception affects men's perspective or view of you, and how you can manipulate that perception that he will view you in the right light, where he will approach you the right way. And when I say approach you the right way, I mean where he is the one trying to take you out on dates, where he is the one trying to spend more time with you, where he is the one trying to call you all the time and all that good stuff. Okay. And it says basically it's an illusion. The box can be empty. Yes, theoretically, the box can be empty. And even theoretically, the box can be less valuable than what's in my hand readily available to you. But that's why perception is so powerful. Does that make sense? That is precisely why perception is the most powerful tool that you need to be taking control of. You need to be in extreme control of your perception, because your perception is going to drastically change how men approach you. They will approach you with respect based on their perception of you. They will also approach you with disrespect based on their perception of you. Okay? Right? And if you're not taking careful care of your perception, you will get the responses and the reactions from men that you don't want. Does that make sense? Trisha says, great info, but this hurts my brain. See, this is where we're getting deep into the weeds of relationships and love and you know, how we respond and react to each other. But I promise you, if you really try and absorb these concepts and look at your own life, you'll probably see that some of these things are connecting and making a little bit of sense. Right? Victoria says, also, yes, I am new. You have an interesting mindset, even though I disagree. Men should respect all. Well, yes, in a perfect world where we all, you know, everything is sunshines and rainbows and we live in a utopia, all men respect all women and all beings and walks of life. Yes, that would be so perfect if we lived in a utopia just like that, where we could hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Unfortunately, we do not live in that world. In the real world that we actually live in, men don't respect everyone. And people don't respect everyone. So you can get respect from men, but you're going to have to demand it to get it and be strategic to get it. But you can get it. It's not that you can't, but you're going to have to do some things to get it. Same thing for me as a man. It's not just a woman thing. Okay. I can get respect in my life, but I'm going to have to demand it from people in order to get it. And I'm going to have to work for it in order to get it. It's not just going to come to me because of my mere existence. Okay. Now, so I talked about do not reach out. I talked about do not sleep over. Now, let's also talk about something very important, which is number 3. Do not plan dates. Okay? I want you to pay attention. Focus on me. Okay? Listen up. I do not want you planning dates. I do not want you scheduling dates. Listen to me very closely. I'm going to get mad now. I'm going to rant now. I do not want you to remind him of what he said he was going to do and where he said he was going to take you and at what time he was going to take you there. Do not be reminding men of what they already told you they were going to do. Why? Because if he really means it, if he really means that he was going to do that thing, like, so for example, let's say he says, oh, I really want us to go to the aquarium next week. Don't be sitting there when Monday comes and you're saying, don't you remember when you said that you were going to take us to the aquarium on this week? So what day are you free that you wanted to take us to the aquarium? Or did you forget that you said that you wanted us to go to the aquarium? I just feel like maybe that you forgot that you said you wanted us to go to the aquarium, and I would really love to see some dolphins. I don't know. Maybe you were having so much work anxiety and stress that you just forgot that you said we were going to go to the aquarium. I just wanted to let you know, by the way, that on Wednesday I'm free at 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. and then on Friday I have the whole day off. So maybe if one of those days you could possibly spare some time, I would love to go to the aquarium like you mentioned before. No, you don't do that. If he said, I want to go to the aquarium next week, let him be an effing man and remember what he said about going to the aquarium next week. And he can reach out to you and tell you, hey, it's next week. I want to go to the aquarium. What day are you free? Okay? Of the man for the man. Okay? I'm telling you guys this because it's a trap that a lot of you fall into very easily. I've talked to you before about how men can bait you into chasing them. Okay? It's a very simple process. It doesn't even take a lot of work. And some of you get that anxiety. You're like a ball of anxiety. You're like a stress ball. You get that anxiety where you start feeling like, oh my gosh, maybe he's getting uninterested in me. Maybe he doesn't like me anymore. Maybe he doesn't remember that I exist anymore. Maybe he doesn't remember my name anymore. And maybe I gotta remind him that he wanted to hang out with me. I gotta remind him that let's go to this place. I gotta do the job for him and make sure that no. Stop it. You don't have to remind him of anything, okay? He can come to his own realization that he wants to be with you, wants to spend more time with you. And if that realization is real, he will take action upon that realization, okay? Everything we're talking about here, doing nothing, is about allowing the men to have the space to come to their own realization and take action upon that realization. You do not do his job for him. So you do not try to stimulate the realization by doing the job of the realization or supplementing what he's supposed to be doing in that time for him. Okay? So you do not plan dates. You do not, if he asks you, where do you want to go? If he asks you, what do you want to do? That's a totally different story. But you do not, especially at the beginning. Okay, if you're with a guy for 4 years, you're married to a guy, okay, it's fine to plan a date. Okay, I don't want you guys to live in some sort of extreme where you never think you should do anything. Okay, but what I'm talking about is at the beginning of a relationship, when you're establishing the dynamic and you're establishing that, hey, if you really want this, you better come get this and you're going to have to work for this. It's not going to be easy. Okay, when you're establishing that, you do not do his job for him where you're planning the dates. You're reminding him what his schedule is. You're reminding him what your schedule is. Why? Because it puts him in a position where he gets to sit back and relax and he says to himself, oh, so actually I realized I don't have to schedule time with her because she'll schedule it for me. I don't have to plan this date because she'll plan the date for me. I don't have to remember what I said I'd keep my word on or what I said I wanted to do with you this week because you'll do all the thinking for me. And it's going to sound crazy, but very quickly you become the man. You become the man because of your anxiety that if you don't do the things, then he's not going to see you. He's not going to like you. He's not going to remember you. He's going to forget about you. And then so you start taking action by planning the dates, scheduling the dates, making sure he's free at this time, making sure all the time aligns and all the things align, right? Reminding him about this thing and reminding him about that thing so that you guys can go out on a thing and be together and spend time with each other. And then as it happens once, then it happens twice, then it happens 3 times, all of a sudden that becomes the reoccurring dynamic in your relationship where you're doing all the planning and scheduling. Meanwhile, he's sitting back and saying, yeah, what are we going to do? We do whatever you want to do. If you want to hit me up, you can hit me up. And all of a sudden, not only is he not pursuing you, but you're the one pursuing him. Very, very dangerous. Okay? Very traumatic too, because you will be in a world of pain and hurt when you're doing the pursuing of the man. Okay? Sister Wanda sent in €5. as a super chat in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Sister Wanda. I appreciate you. Okay. Thank you so much. And all of you that donate. Okay. Right. So does that make sense? I don't want you planning dates. Right. Deja says, then I never hit him up. LOL. That's a turn off. Well, you shouldn't be hitting him up in the first place. If you were here for number one, I said, do not reach out. So he forgets the first date and then plans the second date. What should you do? What do you mean by he forgets the first date? It depends what you mean by that. Do you mean like he stood you up, or he planned it out and then, when the date come, he just didn't say anything and just, left it at that? Okay. Because if he planned the date and he just left it at that, okay, and he just didn't say anything, then my advice to you would be to let him know that, look, if he's going to be planning dates out with you, excuse me, that you don't have a lot of time to be wasted. And if he is not prepared to actually be serious about the dates, then that's perfectly fine with you, but you're not going to be wasting your time. So if he's really serious about wanting to take you out on a second date, sure, you can let him plan it, let him schedule it, let him do all the work for it. And then if he does the same thing where he just forgets about it or he flops or whatever, end it. Don't talk to him again. You give him one chance where you tell him what you don't like and what you don't appreciate and what the response will be if he does it again. And then if he does it again, just leave it. There's no point, right? Because if he can't plan a date with you and stick to the word on the date, then you can't build a relationship off of that. Okay, this is not realistic. Okay. Deb says only serial dating app men need validating and being chased. It's true, but there's a lot of serial app dating men, right? There's a lot of serial app dating men. We call them microwave men because they want things quick and easy. So it's a lot quicker and easier if you're doing the chasing after them, right? Hi Hannah says, can you change the dynamic after it's already been established? Theoretically, you can. Realistically, it's very difficult once you've established it. This is why I try to hammer home all of these points to you guys, that literally when you go out on these dates, you can be hearing my voice and seeing my face in your mind while you're on this date and while you're going to sleep and while anything you're doing, you hearing my voice. That way, when you're actually on this date with the guy, especially at the beginning, you can be really focused on how to set the groundwork to get the right result. Okay, because when you set the groundwork, it makes the rest of the relationship a lot easier because he's going to be approaching you how you want him to approach you. He's going to be talking to you and treating you how you want him to be treating you. When you don't set the right groundwork, you mess everything up and then you start trying to play catch up as the relationship goes on, and that becomes very difficult. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. So yes, you can change your circumstances if you've been doing everything wrong. But I'll be honest with you, it's very difficult. And sometimes it really is just not going to happen because a lot of times guys are invested in that relationship or in that relationship with you because of that particular dynamic. So because you chase after him, because you do all the work for him, because you do his job and you're basically the man, or because you're giving away all this Squirtle and having all this pineapples with him for free and you're just a casual friends with benefits thing, that's why he's spending that time with you. That's why he allows you to be continuously around. But as soon as you want to switch up that dynamic or you want to set some boundaries or you actually want the relationship to go in a forward direction, he says, whoa, I was not here for us to do that. And if you're trying to do that, then I'm going to go over here. Okay, for some of you, it's a painful realization, but I have to be honest, it is the truth. Right? Ivy says he literally says he doesn't chase. Okay, whatever. See, that's the funny thing too, Ivy, that you bring that up. Men will say that they don't chase, and I know a lot of men see, listen, I want to accept that everyone has their own different perspective. And I've seen some people say, you don't speak for all men. Some men don't think like this. Some men don't want that. Cool. I don't speak for all men. Okay. I can't possibly speak for all men. I'm one man. All right. However, I want to give you a concept and then let you decide what you think about this. Men will tell you, high value men. We don't chase us high value men. See, I'm high value. Me value high value, high value, high value. And as a high value man, I don't chase anything. I don't chase. I don't pursue women, and women don't matter. I'm actually, I don't care about women whatsoever. Actually, I don't even see women. What are women? I don't know. I'm a high value man. My value is so high, I can't care or think about women whatsoever. So I don't chase them. I don't pursue them. I don't do anything with women. Okay, it's all about value. High value. Okay. That's what some men are going to tell you and convince you that, oh, all the high value men don't chase. My question, rather than telling those men that they're wrong, my question then becomes, so there are like super successful men like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Elon Musk, let's just say, Jeff Bezos, like let's just name a whole bunch of billionaires that are The Rock, right? A whole bunch of people who are successful, Justin Bieber, right? Lots of people who are successful, got lots of money, what people would consider high value men, okay? The highest of high value. Now, majority of those men have wives or girlfriends. So my question then becomes, are you saying that all of those super high value men got pursued and chased by their girlfriend or wife in order to be in that relationship because they're so high value and so much success, so amazing, so focused that they would never dare to chase after a woman who is not on their level or a woman at all, because highest of high value men don't chase any woman? Is that what you want me to believe? Is that what you're saying? Because if you're saying, oh, men don't chase, I don't chase, high value men don't chase, well, then in turn, you're saying that all the high value men in all of their existence with wives and girlfriends, all of their wives and girlfriends have courted them, have came after them, have chased after them, have pursued them, because the highest of value men wouldn't be chasing if what you're saying is correct, right? So the reason I asked that question, right, is because I want you to come to a realization of how that doesn't really make any sense. Okay? It doesn't really make any sense. The idea that the highest of the high value men don't pursue women. They don't pursue all women, that is true, but they do pursue the woman that they want. I know that sounds crazy, but like, it's true. Even high value men don't chase or pursue after every woman. Yes, they don't. But they do chase and pursue after the woman that they want. So you don't have to worry about being every woman. You just have to worry about how can you embody the woman that he wants. Okay? So I say that to say, don't let people fool you into thinking that, oh, high value men, they don't chase high value men. All they see is value. They don't think about chasing or pursuing women. Okay. Those people are confused and they're so fixated on living their life in an extreme that they don't see the value in a woman or a relationship. And they're also not even in the position, in the mindset to be in a relationship in the first place, because you're not going to get anything out of a man who is convinced that he shouldn't be chasing or pursuing. See, those men are confused because they're thinking of chasing as, oh, I'm on my hands and knees crawling on glass, begging to sniff your butthole. It doesn't have to be like that because you're pursuing something that you want. Because the truth of the matter is those high value men, they pursue their goals. They pursue success. They pursue money. They pursue achievements. How you do life is how you do relationships. So if someone is willing to pursue goals and achievements that they want, they will pursue a woman that they want. Okay? Don't let some of these people and men trick you into thinking that the way you should be approaching it is by chasing after them because they're so high value. It's ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous. It's one of the ways that they bait you into chasing after them because it's a lot easier for them. And it's easier to control you. It's the truth, okay? So you do not reach out was number one. You do not sleep over was number two, okay? You do not plan dates was number three. Number 4, very important. You do not beg for attention. I don't want you asking him why he doesn't want to hang out with you more, why he doesn't want to spend more time with you, why he's too busy to call you, why he's too busy to text you, why he never Snapchats you anymore. You do not beg or ask for more attention. Why? Because you're good with yourself. Okay? You're good with yourself. You don't need his attention to feel good about yourself. You don't need his attention for your life to feel interesting. You don't need his attention for your life to feel stimulating. You're whole. And remember what I said, when you're whole and you're investing into yourself, that is the time when the men will be pursuing after you. Sushila says, well, I'm lonely. That is the problem, right? Not that lonely is a bad thing, but you're lonely for a reason. You need to find out what your life purpose is, what your passions are, what you care about outside of just being someone's girlfriend or wife, because that will give you the fulfillment that you no longer feel lonely, right? Your life can feel full and happy with joy without necessarily you being in a relationship. And it's good if you have happiness and joy outside of just being in a relationship, because when you have a relationship, it will just add to the happiness and joy. Because when I'm not saying, Sushila, that it's a problem that you are lonely and you say you have no friends, but I want you to understand, when you're in that position and you try and get into a relationship, you're going to be so desperate for that person's attention all the time, because that's all you have. And when that becomes all you have, all the men sit back and say, ew, can you back up a little bit? You're a bit too close to me. But, you're doing a bit much, right? And it's natural. It's what everyone does when someone is too up on them, right? And when you have that anxiety that, oh my God, are you going to leave me? Oh my God, are you going to abandon me? Oh my God, do you not like me anymore? People go, oh, please, just chill a little bit. Can you back up just a little bit? Give me a couple centimeters. Just back up just a little bit. You're too close here. Okay? That's the reaction that you're going to get. And when men are in that mind state, I'm not just talking about Sushila, I'm talking about all of you guys, right? When men are in that mind state where they're like, oh, please just take a step back, just one step, you're a bit too close. When they're in that mind state, they cannot chase you. And to be honest with you, they're not even attracted to you at that point, right? Because they don't see you as a whole individual, and it's very unattractive for you to be that anxious. Please, I need you, begging, I need you, please, I have nothing else. People can't bring themselves to be attracted to people in that state. Okay? Right? So you cannot be begging for more attention. It's only going to push people away from you, and it's only going to have them saying, please, I need just a little bit of space from you. Right? And when you start begging for attention, that if you feel the need to be begging for more attention, I need more of your time, I need you to care about me more, I need you to want to spend more time with me, right? When you find yourself in that state, you have a different problem, and you need to solve the root of your problem. And the root of your problem is, why isn't your life fulfilling enough that you feel like if he isn't here or present or paying attention to you or talking to you all the time, that your life is boring or uninteresting or you have nothing? You need to solve the root of that problem, because as long as you continue to feel like your entire life is this relationship and you have nothing else outside of this relationship, you will never be able to attract a man on a level where he's actually pursuing you and wants to chase after you and wants to be with you for real and is super attracted and invested in you. You'll always be in relationships where you're doing the most, you're trying your absolute hardest. Meanwhile, all the guys you're with are pushing you away or super unappreciative of you and everything that you do, and cheat on you with other women that they actually find attractive. And you're going to find yourself in a position where you're constantly begging for men to see you and care about you. Unfortunately. I don't want to be mean to you guys, but it's true. Okay, so you cannot be begging for attention. You cannot be on your hands and knees thinking that the more you beg and the more you plead, the more he's going to notice you and be like, oh, I'll give you some attention. Even if he does give you attention after you beg and you plead, it's going to be out of pity. It's going to be out of pity. And you don't want guys giving you attention or trying to spend time with you out of the pity that they feel for you, that your whole life is about them. And if they're wanting to be with you and give you attention, because as soon as they spend time with you out of pity, it takes away his ability to realize, I wanted to be with her. I wanted to spend this time with her. Instead, he thinks to himself, I'm just spending this time with her to shut her up because she's literally, a ball of anxiety and her life will fall apart if I don't hang out with her. You're like charity. You're like charity. You're like charity. He's giving back to the needy when you're in that state. So anything that he does for you is not from the purpose of, I love you so much and I want to be with you so badly that I want to do this for you or be with you more or see you more or spend more time with you. It's charity. I'm giving to you because your life is literally worthless without me in it. And think about what a guy will do to you or how he will treat you when he is of the belief that your life is worthless without me in it. Your life has no value, no purpose, no direction without my existence. Think about how a man that believes that will treat you. It won't be good. Okay. So number 1 was do not reach out. Number 2, do not sleep over. By the way, Sushila, if you have a personal question and you want to tell us your situation, please hop into the Discord where you can talk about your entire situation and I answer your question live on the stream. Okay, that goes for all of you as well. If you're on TikTok, just go on the link in my bio on my TikTok. You hop into the Discord. You can ask your question in the relationship advice section. You'll see how to structure it there. If you're on YouTube, just go in the link in my description or I pin the comment right at the top there where you can access the Discord and ask your personal question. I'll answer it live on stream. Okay. So number 1 was do not reach out. Number 2, do not sleep over. Number 3, do not plan dates. Number 4, do not beg for more attention. Number 5, the number 5 thing I want you to scale back and stop doing it. Okay. You're going to do nothing. Do not yap about yourself. Do not yap about yourself. The reason I don't want you to be yapping about yourself, it serves no purpose. Okay. It also makes you less attractive. I know you're like, why does it make it less attractive for me to yap about myself? The more you trauma dump on people, the more you talk to them about how insecure you are about all your different insecurities, all it does for them is point out to them what you're insecure about, point out to them what your flaws are. Okay. Point out to them why you're not so amazing and why they shouldn't put you on a pedestal. I know you think you're getting off your chest all the things that are on your chest. Save that for your girlfriends, especially at the beginning of the relationship. You don't need to be trusting everyone. You just need to trust the people that you actually can trust. Okay. So until he shows himself as someone who's going to be in your life for the long haul, you don't need to be divulging in him everything about yourself and your life and everything, that you need and want. Okay. Also, the more you yap about yourself, the easier you make it for him to manipulate you and get what he wants out of you. Why? Because as you yap about yourself, you also do make the mistake of telling these guys what you want, exactly how you want it. And when you tell these guys what you want and exactly how you want it, he goes from being in a position where he actually has to show you who he is and just you observe who he is for who he is. And he starts thinking to himself, well, you tell me you want a guy who will buy you flowers. You tell me you want a guy who will open doors for you. You tell me you want a guy who will text you good morning and good night every night. So if I know I just want Squirtle from you, but you're telling me exactly what you want in your dream man, if I just embody your dream man, then I can extract Squirtle from you very easily. I'll do that. So then he's like, wait 1 second. And then he runs to the bathroom and he puts on his Prince Charming suit that is literally everything you just described you wanted while you were yapping about yourself. And he comes out of the bathroom in his Prince Charming suit with exactly what you said you wanted. And now you're like, oh my God, you look exactly like my Prince Charming. I can't believe it. It must be magic. It must be my fairy tale. I must be a Disney princess like I've been watching in all my movies. Right? And you become convinced that this is your moment because he's dressed like Prince Charming, and then he sleeps with you. And then as soon as he sleeps with you, literally as soon as he busts a nut, I'm busting a nut. And then he busts a nut. And then he literally says right after that, oh, this is cool. And he unzips his Prince Charming suit, right? He unzips it and he steps out of it and he goes, yeah, this was cool. I'm going to leave this suit here. I don't need it anymore because I got what I want from you. I'll see you whenever I feel like it. Okay, goodbye. And that's what happens. Right? And you're sitting there like, what just happened? I thought this was my Disney princess movie. Okay? That's why you don't want to be yapping about yourself. And the less you yap about yourself, actually, ironically, the less you yap about yourself, the more space he has to talk about himself. And the truth of the matter is, people feel the closest to you when they can talk to you about themselves. They don't feel the closest to you when they hear you talk about yourself. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds stupid, but in reality, the most interesting person to each of us is ourselves. So when we get to talk about ourselves and make the relationship and make the conversation about ourselves, that's truly when we're the most excited and engaged. Okay. And if you're trying to get men to pursue you the way that you want to pursue them, you want them to pursue you, you're always trying to get them excited and engaged and emotionally invested in you, that you can get what you want out of him. Other people will talk to you about financial investment. That's perfectly fine. I like to discuss with you guys emotional investment because I think that's the best way to get what you want out of a man forever. Okay? Chris says that that's how they become narcs. Well, here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys are scared of being with a narcissist, and oh my God, if he talks about himself all the time, he'll be a narcissist and all that stuff. Here's what I want all of you to understand. If you're not yapping about yourself and you're asking a lot of good questions and you're letting him talk about himself, you will realize if he's a narcissist by the way he talks about himself and how he goes on long tangents and everything he says about his experiences and his life and what he thinks and what he wants. As he begins talking, he'll begin unveiling the mask of who he truly is, and you'll see that. And when you see that, you can say to yourself, cool, now that you've shown me that, I know I'm not going to sleep with you. I know I'm not going to be with you. I know I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with you. And then you remove yourself from that situation. Okay, so him talking about himself is actually a good thing for you because it helps you determine who the guy actually is. That way you don't get tricked by not allowing him to talk about himself. And then you get tricked down the line being like, oh, well, I invested myself a year into you, not realizing that these were your true colors. If I would have known, I wouldn't have even slept with you or invested any of my time and energy into you. So you're actually doing yourself a favor by not yapping about yourself and letting him yap and go on long tangents about how he feels and all his thoughts and feelings and emotions and perspectives and all that, because you get a good sense of who he actually is. And that's always good for you. I always tell you guys, whoever gathers the most amount of information wins. So if you're not giving away Squirtle while you're gathering information, you win. Because by the time you do give away Squirtle, if you give away Squirtle, you have information to ensure that the person you're giving away Squirtle to is the person you're actually trying to be in a relationship with. And vice versa, if you realize that he's not the person you're trying to end up with, then you didn't give up Squirtle, well, then you get to walk away scot-free without having given anything but some time to that guy. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Right? So you do not yap about yourself. Instead, you ask him questions about himself. And I've talked to you guys in previous live shows about great questions to ask on dates. Okay, so I won't go into detail about that right here, right now. You ask him questions, right? And you observe his responses. Not just you listen to them, but you also observe his actions afterwards, after that, right? You observe how he is when he's mad, angry, sad, upset, stressed out, right? You observe him in a plethora of different circumstances and situations to really determine who the real person is that you're in a relationship with, right? Because the process of trying to determine who you're really in a relationship with is what's going to give you the answer on if you should be giving away Squirtle or not. Okay. Blackberry says crazy how we stay ready to give away Squirtle. I know. And the thing about it is sometimes it's even coming. Sometimes I know for some of you, you give yourself your own anxiety and your own self pressure to feel like, okay, well, he said he likes me so much and he's invested a lot of time into me and he's invested a lot of energy into me. I feel like now if I don't give away Squirtle, he's going to become uninterested in me. And you give your own self that internal pressure that, look, I got to give away Squirtle in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, because if I don't, he's going to become uninterested in me and then he's going to go on to some other girl. When in reality, if you just hold your water, he will stay interested in you. I promise you. If he really likes you, he will stay interested in you, even if you're not giving away Squirtle, if you're doing it the right way. Okay. Ivy says the transition with all these new rules isn't as easy as it seems. I know it's not easy because I know, trust me, I know, Ivy. I know it's not easy because it's for us to sit here. You're not in love with me. Okay. Maybe some of you are in love with me, but for majority of you, you're not in love with me. And for us to sit here and talk about what you should do or the strategy you should have when it's a Friday afternoon or a Saturday morning for some of you or a Friday night for some of you, right? And we're just chilling, relaxing, talking about strategy. It's easy for us to all say, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, well, yeah, we got this. Yeah. And then by the time you like a guy, you're like, I'm ready to give away Squirtle right now. It's the first date. I just feel like I should give it away right now. I just feel like everything is right now, right? So I understand that being in the situation when you're invested in the guy is very different from us having this conversation like this casually. But that's why we continually have the show every day and we continually discuss it every day, that you hear it in your sleep. When you're sweating this out, right? Every day you're hearing it consistently until finally when you're going out on your dates, you're like, no, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know how I can get what I want out of this situation. I know how to elicit the response that I want. Okay. And in that process, you will eventually start seeing the results that you want to see. Okay. Okay. Does that make sense? Sushila says it won't allow me permission to post in your Discord. Try and open it in browser when you open it on the link there. Okay. Try and open it in browser. Sometimes it's a little bit weird if you open it right from TikTok, but you don't open it in browser. Okay. So try that. You should be able to post in it once you join though. Kayla says it's embedded in my mind at this point. Good. I'm glad it's embedded in your mind. Just So Real says I'm not having pineapples until marriage. When you don't have pineapple, it literally gives the man. It literally gets the man, especially if he likes you and he's highly attracted to you. This makes him chase you and fall in love with you. You know, it's funny just that you say that. I think it was yesterday that we had a submission in the Discord, and we're gonna get to the Discord in a second. I know some of you are excited for that. It was literally yesterday we had a submission where no, it was 2 days ago, where we had a submission where a girl was talking about how she literally slept with the guy. I think it was like the 4th date she slept with the guy. And when she slept with him, literally right after that, the guy sat her down and was like, I wish we hadn't slept together. And he said that because he was like, I know that I liked you and I know that I was invested in you. And the fact that we slept together made me feel less invested in you now. Right? Not because it was bad, but just because he knew how it would kill his desire for her to continue pursuing her. Unfortunately. Right? So you kind of almost have to do the job for the men, that some of the men know they like you and some of the men want to continue pursuing you, but they also want to sleep with you. And you kind of have to be the one to say no, that he can continue pursuing you, and it will be better for both of you. Okay? It will be better for both of you. Because for some men, by the time they do sleep with you, even though I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds strange, I know it doesn't make sense, but for some men, even though they want to sleep with you, by the time they do, they can still recognize that it was a mistake if they really liked you and wanted to pursue you properly. Okay? I know it makes no sense. And I know it sucks to say, but it's the truth. There was a quote that I mentioned to you guys before. The quote goes that my friend posted, and a lot of my friends agree with this quote. The quote goes, sleeping with the girl that you really like on the first night is like unaliving your dog. And it's true. Sleeping with the girl you really like on the first night is like unaliving your dog. Because naturally it takes away your desire to want to continue pursuing her. And it's so tragic because you can't really control that. That feeling of complacency that you get when you sleep with a girl so easy, so quickly, without putting in any sort of effort or time into her. Because for men, even, it feels the most natural to sleep with you after they've put in time and effort into getting to know you, going through situations with you, spending quality time with you, growing with you. And that feels the most natural and satisfying way to sleep with you. Now, that doesn't mean they won't try to sleep with you. That's the part that I know a lot of you are confused about, because you're like, well, if they can understand that, then they should not try to sleep with us on the first. Well, yeah, in theory, yes. But in reality, they're going to still try and pursue to sleep with you. Okay? But they can still identify how the most satisfying version of that would be to wait. Okay? I know it sounds strange. I try to let you guys in on the guy's mind. Okay? So, it's Discord time. 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 Okay, it's Discord time. Everybody do your Discord dance. Okay, it's Discord time. It's Discord time. Okay, it's Discord time. It's Friday time. It's Discord time. Do your Discord dance. It's this Discord time. Let's get into the Discord now. Okay, let's hop into the Discord where we shall. Let me hop into the Discord here. Okay, we got lots of questions to answer in the Discord. Let's start off hot and heavy. Let's get right to it. Okay, let's get right to it. Teddy is our first question of the day on the Discord. Teddy says, what now? Teddy says, Tomisin, I regularly go to this place to hang out after work. What kind of place? Most of us are there. There are regular, so we know each other. Some sort of little community. It's fun spending time there and interacting. So it's been about a year since I discovered this place and have been getting a lot of attention from guys that wouldn't get into my head, because I know that's how you get manipulated/played. Learned it from you and Shira. Shout out to Shira. Plus, I've seen it happen to other girls there. And I'm like, wow, if only they knew. Now, this particular guy that I met at this place, how come you're not mentioning the place? What type of place is it? He's 46 and fine. Oh my God, he's so fine. He's been showing interest in me. So we had been talking, but it seems to not be one of those guys who get women without even trying as much. Sorry, it seems to be one of those guys who get women without even trying. Not me though, he. Because I know the game, thanks to you and Shira. But I like him. The other day he called me and he said he missed me a lot and really wanted to see me that day. I had not gone to that place for almost a month. I was occupied that day, so I turned him down. He got upset and said, you know what? Forget it. It's fine. He's been trying. I said, okay. We stopped talking, but see each other each time I go there. He hugs me and he's like, good to see you. He also says, I enjoy your hugs a lot. Your body feels so good in my arms. I enjoy them hugs too, ain't gonna lie. And I'm starting to feel him a little too much. What are you feeling? Are you feeling something in your lower extremities when you hug him? What type of feeling is it that you're feeling a lot of? The thing is, he has not asked me to see me since then. I'm thinking, Should I completely stop showing up there? Cut the hugs out so he misses me enough to contact me again? What do you think, Tomisin? Okay, Teddy, thank you for the amazing question. Now, I'm very curious what this you're very slick. You talk about this place. You won't say what this place is. You just say it's a place where we gather around as a community. Is it a club? What type of club is it? Is it a pineapple club? No, I'm just joking. Okay, a book club. Okay, I'm curious. You make it sound very interesting. So, now in terms of this, I think actually what we talked about today actually directly applies to you. I think in the best for you to do is to do nothing, simply because nothing you would be doing would fit the criteria of the position you should be in. What I mean by that is if you're taking action by texting him or reaching out to him, you're not doing this right, because now you're doing his job for him. If he tells you he likes you and he likes how warm your body feels, he enjoys your hugs and how your body feels so good in his arms, either that's a lot of, blood flow going to his lower extremities, which is why he's talking like that, or he has some sort of feelings towards you, or a combination of both. That would be possible as well. And so if that's the case, then you've already won. Like you already got what you needed. So you know that he's interested in you, and you know that there's a possibility he would want to pursue you. So all you have to do right now is sit back, relax, and do nothing, and allow him to continue pursuing you. You don't need to do more just to make this process go faster. See, that's the thing. Like I was talking to you guys before, some of you guys get so excited because now you're starting to see. Once you start saying, but I like him, now the anxiety starts building, because you're thinking every single day that's passing that we aren't boyfriend and girlfriend is the worst day ever. And I need us to become boyfriend and girlfriend as quickly as possible. So you start feeling like if things aren't escalating at an intense pace, that things aren't going well at all. When in reality, if you just let him cook, over time, he knows where to find you. Clearly, you guys see each other at this place all the time, okay? Right? He knows where to find you. You guys see each other. You guys hug each other. You guys, it's some sort of sensual hug. He's always good to see you. Oh, I love your hug so much. I love the way you feel in my arm. That's a sensual hug, you guys. That's a 2-arm hug. Y'all are definitely get some blood flow to the lower extremities with that hug. Okay? And so this immaculate hug that you guys are having with each other, trust me, if he feels the same way too. And if he feels that way, he will over time continue pursuing you and pushing further and further, and actually trying to see you and spend some one-on-one time with you if he truly is interested in you. And so you don't have to do anything, Teddy. All you have to do is keep going to the place that you're going, okay? You don't have to be the one saying or seeking him out when you go to the place and being like, oh, I want to see where he is so I can go over and give him a hug. No, don't do that. Sit back, relax, do whatever you do when you're going to this place that you're going, this mystery place. And when you go to this mystery place, do what you came there to do. If he's there, even if you see him, don't acknowledge him. Let him acknowledge you, come to you, and hug the living daylight out of you if that's what he wants to do. Okay? I'm not saying you need to deny him, but allow him to be the one making the decisions and pursuing you, and you'll be perfectly fine. I promise you. If this guy has real feelings for you, just let him cook. And those feelings will develop over time. You don't got to do much, I'm telling you. Okay. Next we have I or L. I think this is an L. Okay. He blocked me. What the F, loser? Okay. I says, hello, Tomisin. I'm 30. I have an on and off situationship with my 37-year-old and, half and a year now, okay? For a year and a half now, sorry. For a half a year now, so 6 months. We would occasionally talk, then it would die down because he would start dating someone else. This is not good. Okay, let's go on. I would walk away, but I always end up coming back despite knowing he's a player. Are you PP possessed? It sounds like you have a PP possession going on, because this is only what happens when you're saying you know that you shouldn't be with him, yet you go back to him. That sounds like you're PP possessed. Okay. And he talks to several women. I got to admit that the validation, there it is. I got to admit that the validation he gave me was intense and whatever. I don't talk to him. And whenever I don't talk to him, it feels like an addiction withdrawal. 2 weeks ago, I tried planning to go watch a movie with him. You planning or him planning? We just talked about this. On the day of the plan, I asked around which time he'll arrive to my city. He never responded back. Usually when he does this, I know he's out on dates with other people. What type of life are you living? What type of life are you living? Because this doesn't scream to me that you respect yourself at all. You've gotten to a point where your relationship with this man, you know that he's not responding to you at particular times because he's on a date with another girl, and you just accept that and you just work with that. Oh, he's not texting me back. He's on a date with another girl. I'll wait my turn. If you don't respect yourself, how can you expect a man to respect you? It does not make sense. It truly doesn't. Since then, I have never reached out to him. He's been consistently liking my stuff on social media, irrelevant. I don't want to get mad. And viewing my stories, but I ignored it because I had enough. I wanted to end it this time, but didn't want to announce my exit. You shouldn't. I believe he doesn't deserve it for the way he disrespected me. It was also tiring being on and off. Saying goodbye every 3 months is already ridiculous. So I decided to just go radio silent this time. It was his birthday last June 1st. I never greeted him. And now I found out that he unfollowed me and blocked me on Instagram. I just feel bad that I didn't even do anything to deserve the block. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. I just feel bad when I should be the one blocking him. Usually before he blocks me, so he has done it before. So he has done it to me before plenty of times. I bombed him with dramatic texts asking him why he blocked me, etc. This time I don't want to break contact and I don't want to give him the reaction he wants to get out of me. Am I finally right on this? Do you think I did a good job of cutting it off, or do you think I should have gave him a decent goodbye? It hurts me that of all the girls he talked to, I'm the only one he's blocking. Is it true that I have at least poked a hole in that man's ego? I've been wanting to ask him why he blocked me. Do you think it's a bad idea to do so? Okay, thank you for the question, So do not talk to him anymore. Do not text him. Do not call him. Don't like his photos. Don't look at his profile. Don't do anything with him. Actually throw him in the trash. Actually throw away anything that reminds you of him in the trash can. Okay? So the reason I say that is because this relationship is over. Okay? He has a girl. Not even if he doesn't have a girl, he's exploring other girls. He clearly does not want to be in a relationship with you. It's been 6 months. He does not give a damn about you. I'm going to be so real with you. Okay. If he did, he would have made that clear. He's exploring other girls because he wants other girls. He doesn't want you. If he wants you around, it's to get easy access to your Squirtle because you're desperate and you love validation. So he'll give you a little quick couple minutes of validation. He'll get inside your Squirtle and he'll be on with his day. He doesn't care about you. Okay. So talking to you anymore is because he never cared about you. So all this time that you're wasting, right, going back and forth with him, right, you're never going to see a different result than the result you've already been seeing. So anytime you bombard him with dramatic text, right, and you go back and forth, why you block me, this, waste of your time, okay? You're not going to see any positive result from any of this. You're just going to go back and forth and nothing's going to change. Okay. At the very most, he's going to come back, maybe apologize for blocking you. He's going to get back in your Squirtle. Then he's going to disappear again. Then go back and talk to the girls he actually wants to be with. Okay. So, you talking about, should I give him a decent goodbye? No, it's pointless. You're not going to be in a relationship with him. Everything about what you guys were doing is over. There's no end goal there. There's no destination there. You don't owe him an apology. This has been 6 months. You guys haven't even been a real thing. There's no apology needed. He already knows what he did. He already knows. Trust me, guys might be emotionally stunted. They're not idiots though. He knows how he's been treating you. He knows he's been ignoring you. He knows he only makes time for you when it's convenient for him. So he knows that if you stop texting him, it's maybe because you grew a little bit of respect for yourself and realized that it's probably best for you to move forward with your life. And so he doesn't need the understanding of why you did it. Truthfully and honestly, he probably doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. He's busy with his own life. If you want to block him, if you want to whatever him, he doesn't care. He probably blocked you just as a way to probably either he has a girlfriend now, which is why he blocked you and he doesn't want anything to do with you, or he's just like, I'm blocking you because I just really just don't care about you. And whatever you do, I'm tired of going back and forth with you. Okay. Like, I just think he cares so little that he blocked you just as a way to literally rid you from his life forever. So I think you're making a mistake by even considering messaging him and asking him what's up or explaining or asking him why he blocked you. It's pointless. You just want to go back and forth. Why do you want to go back and forth? Because you want some more of this, right? You want some more of this validation. It is a very, very, very dangerous drug that if you don't work on it, if you don't start doing the things to fulfill yourself and fill up your own cup, you will be in constant seek of this right here. So the answer to your problems is not down here. It's not any of these questions. It's not even over here. The answer to your problem is up here, right there. Okay? Because the seeking of the validation is what gets you desperate to reach back out to him and feel like there's more to be done there when there's nothing more to be done. The relationship is over. It's not going anywhere. It has never gone anywhere. All you've been in search for is that same feeling of validation over again. Okay? So that's what you need to be working on. All right, Okay. Let's go to our next question here. Oh, he's not good. The title of this one is Textaholic. He's not good. Miss St. Louis says, hey, I need a few pointers on shifting from not texting as much in hopes to not portray or come off as not interested. Any advice when you're dealing with someone who enjoys texting throughout the day? Thanks. Okay. Miss St. Louis. I always tell you guys that there's a balance. So even when I say don't be a textaholic, don't be texting guys, use texting on your phone as a scheduling tool for the next in-person hangout. I always say there's a balance in between that. Why? Because you don't want it to be so extreme that you never text him anytime for anything whatsoever, that he actually genuinely feels like you're uninterested in him, because then he'll just stop reaching out to you. So you don't want it to be like that. However, you need to make it very clear, and this is the answer to your question, Miss St. Louis. You need to make it very clear to the people who love texting you and are textaholics. I love texting, okay? The people who are textaholics, you need to make it crystal clear to them that you cannot text them as much as they want to text because you are busy doing work, doing passions, doing hobbies, being with friends. You got lots of stuff going on in your week and in your day that you cannot be on the phone texting all day, all night. And you need to follow that message up with a statement that I love spending in-person time with you and connecting with you in person. If you want the best version of me, it will be in person, right? And you leave it there. The reason you leave it there is because you're not going to be begging this guy to go out on a date with him. You're not going to be begging this guy to hang out with him. You're not going to be like, no, we got to hang out in person if you want to see me. Can you plan us a date? No, you don't ask him that. You let him know that you enjoy spending time with him. You enjoy speaking to him. You enjoy being around him in person. And that's also where he'll get the best version of you, is in person. And then you allow him to consistently feel that you don't have time to be texting. Because as he consistently feels that, but he knows that he would get the best version of you in person, well, then he only has one choice to access you now, is by planning a date with you in real life to see you in 3-dimensional space. You see how that works? But he feels like he came up with the bright idea. Oh, since you don't like texting, and since you say I'd get the best version of you in person, I was thinking next week I'm actually free. Maybe if you're free, we could go out on a dinner date. I just came up with that idea. You think that'd be a good idea? And you could just be like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that. A dinner date. I would love, we could definitely do that, a dinner date. That would be, I didn't even think of that. You're such a smart, strong, intelligent man. How'd you get so strong, smart, and intelligent? Oh, I try, I don't know how I came up with it. It was a bright idea. And I just think, I guess, I guess I am smart and intelligent, right? Let him feel like a man. Let him feel like he solved the problem. Let him feel like he came up with the bright idea. Meanwhile, you got exactly what you want, exactly how you wanted to get it, and everyone's happy. Okay? So that's exactly what you do. Because when you let people know that you still are interested in them, despite not texting them, it only leaves them with one option to see you. Because now they're not confused that you're not texting them because you're uninterested. They know you're not texting them because you have a lot on your plate. But they also know if they were to plan some time with you, they would get time with you. So it's a win-win for everyone. Okay? That was Miss St. Louis. Next, we have Electric Feel. I like that name, Electric Feel. He wanted me to see his hickey. Okay. Hi, Tomisin. Thank you for answering my question. You're so welcome. There's a couple of things that haunt me with my ex's behavior, and I was wondering if you can decode his aloof weirdness. I was 45, he was 39. Okay, let's see. We got to know each other slowly over 2 months via video chat. Because it was 2020. Okay, we know what was happening in 2020. A few times a week, we would chat for an hour or so and laugh and blow trees. And we would play music virtual hangout style. We were obsessed with each other. Okay. Finally, we met and it was so fiery. He wanted to come back the next day, and I told him when I'm sleeping with someone, I'm with that person only. How do you feel about that? He said, yeah, sounds great. After a month of things getting romantically intense. Okay, so let's assume when you say it was fiery, let's not be dummies here. Probably means you guys slept together that first time. After a month of things feeling romantically intense, I noticed on Facebook he wasn't just seeing me. I asked him, "Are you sleeping with this other girl?" He said, "Not yet, but I'm going to." He explained, yes, he has other partners. He's into open relationships / poly. I cried. He asked if I wanted him to go. I said no. He held me and kissed me. Oh, so this is in person. He held me and kissed me all night. He told me he loved me. He was in love with me. He gave me a period of monogamy while I read Opening Up. Oh, so he gave you some homework. Strategic. He gave you some homework to get you opened up to the idea, literally. To see if it could modify my boundaries. Answer, no. Over the next 9 months, I was caught in a cycle of crushing breakups and intense passion, but it could never be the healthy relationship I longed for. The night after we broke up, he begged me to see his band play at their first performance. What type of band is it? because since he's open, I don't know what type of performance it's going to be. Do they play naked? At the show, he acted like I was his girlfriend, singing to me in front of the crowd and the band wives. Like the sister wives or the band wives? But then in the audience is his other girl glaring at me. I pretended I didn't see her. I felt sick. It was so uncomfortable and weird. Another time when we were broken up, he video chatted me nonchalantly, bare-chested, and he had a bite mark. I pretended like it wasn't there. He knew seeing evidence of other women hurts me, so why did he keep doing these things? These are just 2 examples, but there are a lot more incidences. I had a list and read it whenever I felt limerence. Okay, thank you, Electric Feel. So, obviously this is your ex, so I don't have to tell you that, you're probably not the relationship for you. See, this is why I tell you guys to write down your wish list of all the things you want in a partner and in a relationship. That way you can be clear for yourself what it is that you're looking for. That way you can also be very crystal clear for yourself on what it is that you're not looking for. Because this is where the problems arise. When you're not sure exactly what it is you're looking for in a partner and in a relationship, what happens is guys can come along and try to convince you that what you should want is what they want. And this is kind of a perfect example of that, because since Electric Feel, even though you kind of had an idea of what you wanted, right? Because you were a little bit unsure and you weren't able to stand your ground on knowing I'm looking for this and nothing else, what ended up happening is he came into your life. He gave you all of these amazing emotions and intense feelings that you never thought you would ever feel. And then as soon as he did that, he kind of pulled the rug from under you, or did the bait and switch, where he's like, cool, now that you felt all these great, amazing emotions, I'm going to tell you what this actually is going to be. And because you're heavily invested and because you're a little bit unsure of exactly what you're looking for, he had you for a bit in terms of trying to get you convinced that the way he wants you to live your life is how you should live your life, which is kind of the strategy here with getting you to read the book. Obviously, you ended up saying, no, you know what? I don't want that. But the thing about it is, see, if you had done at the very beginning asking the right questions, and this is why I also say very important to be asking about the exes and the past relationships, because if you were doing that at the very beginning up here, right, then you would have had an understanding that he is poly or open. Okay, because I'm sure it would have come up in his past relationships or something he would have mentioned. This is why you want to be letting the men yap about themselves for as long as humanly possible. Because I guarantee you, if this didn't just start yesterday, the fact that he wants to be open and he's poly, meaning if you would have talked to him for long enough and really got deep enough and let him yap for long enough, even over video chat, when you guys were hanging out and all this stuff, instead of playing some damn music or doing all the laughing and smoking, if you would have been asking some real questions about relationship stuff and what he feels and what he wants and all that good stuff, you would have found out that he's poly or open very early on. And then you would have been, and if you knew what you wanted, you would have been able to say, oh, perfect. Thank you so much for telling me, because I'm not here for that. And then you wouldn't have even bothered investing yourself in a guy like that. That was part of the mistake, was investing yourself in a guy like that. Now, when you're asking me, why would he do those things, right? You have to understand he could be doing that for multiple reasons. He could be doing that simply just to trigger you, okay, because he felt like triggering you. He could also be doing it because he wanted to test and see if you would be okay with it after a while. Because now that you're broken up, it's a little bit more like being open. Because if you are still entertaining picking up the phone, first of all, the fact that he's your ex and he can still call you and expect you to pick up in itself says that you're not truly done with him. So it seems like what he's trying to do, honestly, is trying to test the waters and see if he can still extract out of you an open relationship without you even realizing it's an open relationship. Because if you're going to continue picking up the phone, then maybe he has a chance at seeing you. If he has a chance at seeing you, then he has a chance at sleeping with you. If he has a chance at sleeping with you, then he has a chance at continuing on the same relationship you were in before, but just in a manner that is not exclusive. And so just that fast, you'll get tricked into doing the thing you said you wouldn't do. And so that's why I think he started off by trying to do that. Okay. And that's why he's been doing those things. Okay. So I hope that that answers your question. Electric feel. Okay. Next we have Cicerina. I think this is Cicerina's from before. No, I guess this is a new one. Cicerina asks, how do I get him to finally hit on me? There's a man that is super interested in me at the gym. He's extremely shy, and so am I. How do I give him the confidence to hit on me without coming across masculine? You know, that's actually an interesting one. Because the gym is not a place to really be hitting on people or anything like that. So it's not quite the same thing. You know what I would do if I were you? This is a secret society trick, okay? You're in a special situation because the gym is not a place where it's going to be natural for him to come up to you. But if you're seeing each other consistently at the gym, I'm actually curious though, if you're saying that he's super interested in you, how would you be able to determine that if he's not coming up to you? So I'm assuming he's coming up to you and speaking to you, which is why you know he's super interested in you. If that's the case, then just allow that to grow and let him cook. Because if he's already coming up to you, that's him, you know, taking steps forward. And he'll continue to take steps forward. You can hold the conversation for a little bit longer as well and ask him questions as well and make yourself look like you're interested in what he has to say as well. And you know what I mean? Like, if he's coming up to you, that's good. That's already positive forward motion. It doesn't have to happen overnight. Okay. So be patient with that. Now, if he's not coming up to you at all, then I'm curious how you would be able to determine that he's super interested in you at the gym if he's not coming up to you at all. But let's say he wasn't, then I would just do eye contact in a subtle but obvious way until he builds up the courage to come up to you. But you have to accept he might never build up that courage. But I'm assuming that if you're saying he's super interested in you, it's because he's actually, you know, tried to strike conversation with you until try to build conversation with you for a while. And been talking to you for a while, which is why now you feel like he's really interested in you. Okay, so then that shouldn't be a problem. He's already doing it. Gabby says if eye contact doesn't work, move on. Yeah, that's kind of all you can do when it's a gym situation like that. Okay. Okay, next we have, let's see, we have Dull Razor. Interesting. May I sabotage the one thing I've been trying to accomplish? Long message. Okay, let's buckle up here, chat. Hey there, I'm 20 years old, going on 21, and I have been in a bit of a dilemma with the guy who's 21. We met on Hinge. And hit it off. Oh, did you now? So why are you here? We've been talking since February in terms of conversation and breaking the ice. Things have been slow burning, no pineapples, no house dates. The first time he took me out, we went to a concert on the 4th of April. This was planned 3 weeks prior, though I don't really consider it a date since I paid for my own ticket. Nonetheless, he acted just how he should have. He was extremely protective of me, did whatever he could to protect me from the mosh pits taking place and the reckless drunks on the floor, even carried me to the car since my feet were in pain. That's why I do not like concerts. I do not like places where I'm crowded by a whole bunch of people. If I go to a concert, I got to be in VIP only. I'm a really bougie guy. While in line for the concert, I spent as much time trying to get him to yap and trauma dump in our downtime as possible. Harder when you're going to a concert because it's a harder place to be intimate with a whole bunch of loud music. Even in line, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on. asked some of your questions and mixed in some of my own and waited until he reached out after our date. It seemed like it all worked. Okay, so basically what you're saying is every time I did something that you advised, it worked. Okay, so let's see where you messed up. He tried to keep me way longer after the concert, but I cut it short to edge him. Me like this. That's funny. You cut it short and you edged him. That's exactly what you should do. That's exactly how you describe it too. You edged him. That's good. That's perfect. Since then, we've written each other and schedule FaceTimes periodically. I don't like this just because he can see you. So you don't really need to be scheduling FaceTimes, but okay. I try to keep my texting to a minimum, so then there are gaps between our communication. Good. Oh, you're good. You're doing well. Where'd you go wrong here? He will take about a day or so to respond, sometimes 2 to 3 days. He checks on me from time to time and tells me how his job is going. He works 5 days, 12-hour shifts, and raps and produces. Okay. So 5 days on, that sounds like a police officer schedule. 5 days on, 12-hour shifts. And he tries to catch up with me even though I'm pretty vague when it comes to giving out info about my life. Not sure if this is relevant, but I feel it's pretty significant. I have a gorgeous, loving cat. Oh, like an actual cat. Okay. I would share pics of her sometimes, and he would always request more pictures of her. Of like the actual like kitten, like the actual cat. Not like your cat, like an actual cat. He recently got his own because I told him cats are my weakness. He okay. I was warned by the idea that someone thought of me and took action and wait, what? I was warned by the idea that someone thought of me and took action and not just tell me they've been thinking about me just to love bomb, like some have done. Okay. He asked for my schedule a few times on different occasions. I've given it. I know that you don't approve of texting, so I've never approached him about his late response. Plus his job and music, I'm sure, music life, I'm sure is enough for him to deal with. So I don't encourage him to text me or press him about any attention. But I do mention how I appreciate being taken on dates and try to give him the hint. I totaled the whip mid-April and was in the hospital for about 1 to 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. Sorry to hear that. He hasn't reached out and I couldn't reach out. Once I healed up and got everything back together, I reached out to him to test the waters after a week of being home. I like the fact he isn't one of those unemployed soy boys or manipulative love bombers, but it's been 4 months. I'm getting bored. Continuing multiple day-old conversations I've forgotten about has gotten annoying. 2 to 3 day conversations have become 3 to 4 day conversations. We still been on 1 date. And now he's just telling me he's going to take me out more. I am not implying that I'm waiting for him to text for a text back from him. I'm implying that no reconnection has been initiated. And the music thing just makes me cringe. You don't like his music? It's hard to tell if we are pen pals or if the job he has or his life just stops him from being able to participate in entertainment / outgoings. But giving people the benefit of the doubt has never worked out for me, so I'm considering just assuming the worst and ending it. At the same time, I feel like a jerk. It seems like he at least has some sort of compassion or emotion for me based on the solace provided after my accident and how he treated me in person that one time, and showing how thoughtful he can be with the cat. I don't know why this just makes me feel weird when you talk about the cat like this. Like, what's the obsession with the cat? I'm used to the mental accuse and chaos. I can't say that word. I feel like it could be healthy, be the healthy relationship I've been working on myself for, since it isn't a toxic or an act, since it isn't toxic or an act? Am I a pen pal, or am I seeking toxicity by being impatient and deciding to end things? Bonus question: how long is a reasonable time to wait for a response from someone without being disrespectful? Screenshots below. The first screenshot is an example of how our conversations go with timeframes. The second screenshot is the car accident revisit. The third screenshot is me trying to tell him I'm tired of texting. Our most recent conversation was Saturday afternoon. He hasn't responded since this. Oh, nah. Okay, hold on. Let me open this in the browser. Hold on. Let me open this so I can read it properly. Okay, so he says, hoop 2 days ago, almost broke my ankle. Okay, LOL. So this is 4:59, April 10th. This is April 12th. He messaged you. Then you message him back. Sometimes, yeah, I usually have Fridays off. Bet. Then he just sends you. Okay, so this is like almost like a day in between messages. All right, let's go to the next one. Open this one. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Let me make sure it's open for you. So you were like, hey, sorry for my absence. May 11th. It's all right. So you guys are basically not having any real conversation. It's just like a whole bunch of like, text after like a long period of time. Let's see the last one just to make sure I don't miss anything. Oops. Bring it up here. This is your day off. This was your way of getting me to come to your house. That wasn't my plan. I just knew you mess with cats. His name is Boots. So it was great to be taken. I'm gonna take you out more. Don't worry. Okay. So my advice to you. Okay. My advice to you, dull razor. I think that at the point that you're at now, if he said that he's gonna take you out more, you just have to allow him to take you out more. And if he doesn't actually end up doing that, you have to accept that it really wasn't that serious to him in the first place. You just like, guys, I know that it's painful, but you have to accept how men treat you is how they feel about you. So if he says that he's going to take you out more, but he doesn't, then that's really how he feels. Okay. And as unfortunate as that is to come to that realization, sometimes you might go out with the guy, it might be good, but he might not be as interested in you as you were in him. And maybe he's not interested enough to actually put his focus and time and energy on you, because it just sounds like that you guys are having really casual conversation. And truthfully, I would say at the beginning, it doesn't sound like a pen pal, but like as time goes on, eventually it does just become a pen pal. So you want a solution though. I know you do, dull razor. My solution to you would be to actually not respond to any of his texts now. So you've already mentioned that you're not a big texter and told him that and all that good stuff. Now I actually want you to actively ignore his texts. So don't just text back 2 or 3 days later. I mean, actually ignore his text. So when he texts you, he says, hey, when are you busy? Don't respond. I don't care what he says. Don't respond. He says, yo, did you get my message? Don't respond. Like, let him actually acknowledge until it comes to 3 messages in a row and he acknowledges, why are you ignoring me? What did I do? Then you respond to him. Look, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be doing random texts back and forth with someone I'm not seeing in real life. I just don't have time for that. But I'm good if that's you. I just can't be bothered to text. Okay. So basically, you ignore him up until he brings up the fact that you've been ignoring him and asks you why you've been ignoring him. Then you respond with what you've been feeling and why you're not talking to him. Then allow him the space to make the decision that, oh, okay, well, now I know how I should proceed. I need to take you out on an actual date. Okay. If you ignore him and he just leaves it and he doesn't message you again, then you know he wasn't really that interested or fascinated with you in the first place. Okay. So that is the show for today. I don't want to take too much more time on the chats. If you didn't get your question answered, don't fear. Don't get all upset. Okay, I will answer your question. Just stick around. Be here for the next show, and on the next show, your question will 100% get answered, or on one of these shows. I answer all of them on the Discord. Okay, so please make sure, if you're in the TikTok chat, go on my link in my bio and ask your question. If you're in the YouTube chat, you can go right at the pinned comment on the top or the link in the description at the bottom and ask your question on the Discord relationship advice section. Okay, if you love me so much and you want to see everything I do at all times of the day, you can head over to my Instagram and you can follow me on Instagram right there above my head on the left side of the screen if you're on TikTok, and right there at the bottom right if you're on YouTube. And you can follow me on Instagram and see what my whole life has been like up until this point. Okay, if you are on TikTok and you're like, this is the best show ever, I can't believe the show exists, like, how did this happen, like, I just need to know more about this, this is everything, you can head over to my YouTube, just type my name in the search bar, or you can screenshot this and copy and paste it, and you can find me there, find my page there, where you'll have access to this live stream and all the other past live streams that I've done that you've missed, that you need to catch up on if you want to be part of the Players Club, because we all have a bunch of inside jokes in the way we talk to each other and the way we interact. If you're new here, you're going to be very confused. Okay, so you need to join the Players Club and go subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch all the videos and be up to date and up to speed on everything. Okay, for those of you who are new also, I'm here every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, sorry, every weekday, not every day. That'd be insane. I'm here every weekday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So I won't be here tomorrow because tomorrow's Saturday, but I will be back again on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So you got to figure out whatever time that is in your time zone, okay? Where we'll be talking more about love, life, and relationships. Okay, until then, au revoir, arrivederci, goodbye, see you later, hasta la vista, all that good stuff. I love you so much. I will see you very soon on Monday, and even throughout the weekend, I'll be on YouTube posting on my main page as well. Okay, I love you so much. I'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful weekend, you beautiful humans. Okay, bye for now.